Hey guys, so today is the first day to Hannahween. And Hannahween is where I post every day in the month of October. People call it Vlogoween. This is just Hannahween because I'm Hannah. So, today I'm starting off with some stories. And these stories all happened to me. They all happened in my mom's house. And before I get started, please like and subscribe. It would really mean a lot to me. Just make me happy. And I promise I won't disappoint. I post every day. Not every day. I post every week, Tuesday and Thursday, when it's not October. And since it is October, every day this month, and then every day in December. And so today's video is story times, like I said, so I'm just gonna jump into it. So the first story I have takes place with me and Alondra. I think I was a junior, she was a sophomore, and we were hanging out in my house, or my mom's house at the time, and we were watching Grave Encounters, one of the best scary movies ever. It'll be in another video coming up real soon where I talk about it, but anyway, one of the best scary movies. So we're watching Grave Encounters. We kept hearing this like noise, and we're like, what is that? It's not coming from the movie. We paused it. I had watched this movie quite a few times, and it wasn't in the movie. So we were just like, what the heck? The animals weren't making noises. They were both asleep on the ground. The cats were hiding in the bedrooms. And we were in the living room. Still couldn't figure it out. So we're like, oh, we'll just watch the movie. And then we hear, and again, like that's the closest I can make that noise for you, but it was getting really weird. And my mom's house is haunted. You'll see. So we're just like, what the heck? So we get up, we go to the kitchen, and there's nothing there. We're the only ones in this house. So we go back in the living room, and I look up to where the fireplace chimney thing used to be, because they were redoing it and they took it out. And my mom had put a paper plate in the chimney hole so that no animals could get in or no soot would fall in. And the paper plate went like somebody was pulling it up and trying to move it to get down in. And this hole is like that big, so nobody could fit in it. There was no animal. I have the video, I'll show you. It's really dark, you won't be able to see hardly anything, but I'll insert it like right now.
Pitch black and that's just falling for real.
She's right, you could be hurt.
Oh my gosh, it's moving. Should I go poke it again? You want to scared? Huh? You want to get the life scared out of you? Sure. That's fun. Hi.
What? If we're gonna go into this, then we might as well tell you. Thanks for your help. Hey, it's no fun to hang out here, I can tell you. By myself. Matt.
Matt!
Matt.
Matt!
Matt.
Who's Matt?
Matt!
The cameraman. Where are you,
Where
Matt?
the are you?
Matt.
The wind is going crazy, and this is not doing it.
The fuck?
Look how bad I'm shaking.
Matt. Hey, Matt.
Why is this shit everywhere?
Matt. Matt.
Matt!
Matt.
Matt!
All right.
He wouldn't just need to put them.
No, he wouldn't. It looks like he was just packing it up anyway. He's got to be.
You okay,
he's gotta
Hannah?
be down one of these ways. TC, you go that way. He's smashing on go this way.
Why would we do that? That is a terrible idea.
He's got to be here. He wouldn't just.
Why would
Okay.
we split up? That's a terrible
Say bye. This was the Grave Encounters. Yeah, sure. We're in Grave Encounters now.
Where are you,
Bye.
So, you see that clip. We're poking it with the stick. It's not moving. This is a paper plate. It should go straight up when you push on it. We take the broom handle and something is pushing down on the paper plate so that we can't move it. Just like that. And so we freaking out. My mom comes home and she goes, "What the hell are you guys doing?" Because we're in there poking it with a broom, screaming. She could hear our screams from parking the car up the hill. She comes in, she goes, "I thought somebody died. What the heck?" And so we're like, "Look." We show her the video. She goes, "That's really weird." And so she's like, "Well, give me the broom. I'll try it." And it wouldn't budge for her. She's just pounding at it and it just would not come. Would not move, would not anything. And like before this, you could see the paper plate getting pulled back, so like eyes, if there was eyes in there, they could peek down, but we didn't see anything lurking, thank God. So sorry, it's a really strange memory to go back to. So my mom's like, "Okay, I'm gonna take the paper plate out." And we're like, "Okay." There was no wind or anything, so there's nothing it should be doing anything. And she pulls it out. There's nothing there. Nothing that should be blocking the paper plate, nothing. Nothing at all. And that's all I have to say about the paper plate, because there's nothing else to the story of it. It just stopped. It never did it again. It literally happened that one time and nothing happened again. They fixed the chimney and it's been fine ever since. Now for this story. Picture this. I was 5, 6 years old, really short. You could see it if I had a better camera, but really short to the ground. And then I had my niece there with me who was like 2 at the time, 2, 3, depending on the age difference. We're 2.5 years apart, depending on how old I was. That's how old she was. So we're little, really, really, really little. And so we'd go into my grandma's creepy bathroom, and it still terrifies me to this day. And we would talk to the mirror. We'd talk to the people in the mirror. They'd look exactly like us, but when we weren't talking, their mouths would be moving and we could understand them. And up until 2014, when I moved up north to be right next to my niece at the time, she remembered it. And we would talk to these mirror things probably for like a whole year, but then they started telling us to do really, really scary stuff. Like, "Oh, hurt her, do this, do that," and we just didn't want anything to do with it. So we stopped talking to them. Fast forward to 2014, and her little sister, my other niece, would sit and talk to the mirror in my niece's bedroom. And it was really creepy, and my niece was like, "Yeah, we used to do that all the time." And I was like, "Yeah, I know." And so one day, my niece was sitting on her bed, and the mirror fell over off the dresser or off the side of the wall. I don't really remember where it was. And it shattered. And then I was like, "Oh, is that the same mirror that or your sister was talking into?" And she goes, "Yeah, it was. I don't know why she did that. We never did." And I was like, "What do you mean?" She goes, "What do you mean? What do I mean?" And I'm like, "Well, we used to talk to the mirror all the time." And then she's like, "No." And we had had this discussion like a week prior, and it was blew my mind that I was like, "What do you mean? You don't remember?" And then she cleaned up all the glass. I moved up there like 2 months later. We get there and we find this shard of glass underneath the bed. She cleaned it all up, so I don't know. And then she put it on the dresser. My little niece came in. She was 1, 2 at the time. Old enough to walk and talk, but not old enough to quite understand. She grabs the shard, starts mumbling in this weird language, like strange. And she starts to put the mirror to my forehead bed while I'm lying on the ground. I tried to bait her off. She was so heavy. But she's not heavy. She was little. And I start screaming, and my niece grabs me. She goes, what the heck is your problem? Like, she was scaring me. She was terrifying me. I thought I was going to die. And we threw it away, and she was just laughing, and that was the end of that. I still have trouble looking into mirrors. I probably always will. But that's the end of that story. So I guess it took place in both my mom's house and the old house. Which I have some stories from there, so remind me. I will tell those. So another time, I think this will be the last story that I share about my mom's house at the moment. But another time, me and Alondra, I came home from visiting from up north. And she came over to stay the night and watch scary movies, spend, I think, the weekend with me. She surprised me by picking me up at the train station with my mom and Nana. And so we're hanging out, chilling, whatever. And I was like, oh, I brought my tarot cards home. Back then, it was like, oh no, tarot cards. Because we were super Christian, super Mormon, grew up in a, don't touch those things, it'll curse you or whatever. You'll go to hell. And so I was like, you want to go play with them in my room? And she's like, yes. Because, you know, if you grow up in one of those strict households telling you, don't do this, don't do that, you're going to do them. And you're not going to do it safely. And so now we go into my room, we shut the door because we didn't want anybody, to come in. And we're doing it, and I'm really good at tarot, if I don't mind tooting my own horn. So I'm reading hers, and she's just like, this is so weird, it's so accurate. And I was like, I know, it's crazy, right? And so we're doing the cards, and then all of a sudden we hear something, and we're like, what is that? Is my mom coming? And then something runs down the hallway and stands at the door. We had the bathroom light on. I have goosebumps. It's terrifying. We had the bathroom door open and the light on, and it's right next to my room. And underneath my door, we could see feet, like bare feet underneath the little crack. And we're just like, Mom, is that you? Nothing. We're like, Nana, are you okay? Nothing. And the door, the feet are just standing underneath the door. And so we're freaking out. We're crying. We're screaming, but we're not like screaming because we don't want to wake anybody up. Nobody ever hears these things in my house. They just sleep right through it. So I do what any brave 18-year-old would do at the time. I took a tarot card, threw it under the door, and then it walked away, walked down the hallway, and left. We could hear it open the door and shut it. We're holding on to each other at this point, just like scared, like crying scared, not like sad or mad or whatever, just like terrified tears pouring down our face. And I was like, okay, let go of me. I gotta check. And she's like, don't die. And I'm like, I won't die, I promise. Stay there. We'll be good. If I die, you'll be safe. So it's a lot scarier than I remember it. So I go and I open the door and there's nothing there. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go down the hallway. You can come with me or you can stay here. And I think, from what I remember, she's like, I want to stay here. So she came with me and we're like, there's nothing here. All the lights are the same. The door's locked. Nothing. I can't even explain what happened. Because now I use tarot cards almost every day, and I've always been able to commune with the ghosts. But I've never had something happen like that since. I've had things happen like that before, but nothing since. And I can't tell you what happened that night. I can just tell you that there were shadows coming underneath my door frame. The feet were like grayish. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. So yeah, that's the terrifying stories from my mom's house. There are thousands more. I will tell you that in more videos to come. Probably another one this month. And so, happy Halloween. Happy October, one of the best months of the year, even if it is Scorpio season. It's also Libra season, so whatever. You guys are great. No, you're not, but that's pretty much everybody. So. And yeah, stay happy in whatever walk of life you're in, because that's what matters the most. Please like and subscribe. It would mean the world to me, so I can keep doing this and not feel like I'm talking to my phone. And yeah.